What is going on, guys? Next is TV back again with another video. See, I told you I wouldn't mess up on that anymore. I told you I'd work on that. I did. So today I did say there's going to be a part 2 in order for the Wakanda Files book that I looked at a couple of days ago, I think. And of course, I don't want to review the book before reviewing the book. So these are just a few pages that I found around the internet, and yeah. So now this is Falcon's page, the one I talked about in the last video. This is this is how he asked Stark Industries for help, and this has to have been between 2014 and 2016, given the fact that given the fact that the Winter Soldier had to have been taking place between in 2014, and then Civil War took place in 2016. So yeah, definitely between those 2 years. So let's just get into it. My old flight pack from Fort Meade did the trick temporarily, but the tech is outdated and outmatched. It's time for an upgrade. Let's start with the wings. When those things get shot to pieces mid-air, I'm cooked. They need to be able to withstand a little more firepower, maybe carbon polymer fiber like capsuit. I hear that might keep the rigidity and flexibility ratio. The flight goggles from the prototype don't do much more than keep the sun and wind out of my eyes. Based on the last few missions, I need an AR goggles. I don't know why it says googles, with a built-in comics system. I need something to give me a wide view of the battlefield. I need something to give me a wide view of the battlefield. How about adding enhanced optics for isolating and differentiating targets at greater distances, which we saw him do in Infinity War, I believe. It would be nice to have some sort of surveillance device that I could sit into battle before I jump in. The minute I swoop in, I'm vulnerable. Unlike all the other bulletproof enhanced people on the team, I'm just a dude. Now, he clearly doesn't realize that Captain America has been shot before. Matter of fact, Bucky shot him the year they both met. And then Natasha has been shot countless times. Who else can be shot? Clinton got shot in Ultron, so he's definitely not the only unprotected quote unquote person on the team. And to be honest, when he said the wings and tech were outmatched, that is kind of true, because the wings just look they look super old. The whole outfit like it was from 2005, definitely not from 2016. Of course, I had to check Marvel Feature Fight, as if I didn't already know that the outfit looked different. And we can see that there were some major upgrades to his suit. And at first, I didn't really notice the difference, but then I kind of saw the wings, and I was like, yeah, the wings do look different. I assume Falcon or Sam had had the money for this, but given the fact that I'm pretty much Tony knew Sam at this point, because I think they met at that party they were having at the beginning of Ultron, but I'm not entirely sure. I assume all of this costed around $800K or something, because that in a way is nothing to Stark Industries, especially Tony Stark, because he's a billionaire, so he doesn't really need he can spend $800K no problem, because he has income coming from all over the place, so there's really no problem. And if we're following the comics, then he also owns Area 51, so yeah. The next page is, this one's from Instagram, and this is one I just found scrolling around last night. I'm gonna see if I can read some of it, but this isn't this is gonna be hard to read because it gets kind of dark toward the back end of the pages, so I'll just try. Silk, not sticky nor malleable enough for my applications. Has to be load-bearing and strong, hold with extreme amounts of tension and stress, yet have a little stretch to it. Natural spider silk equals 175 GPa. Synthesized spider silk equals 0.87 GPa, not strong enough. If I can up the gigapascals to at least an even 10, stringing up a car might be doable with enough webbing. Cartridges. 16-gram cartridges could borrow empty CO2 cans from the wood shop, pine box, dirty garbage, disbursement. A device on my wrist like a bracelet with a trigger pad in the palm of my hand activated by middlemost fingers. That way I can slice it off or keep it connected as needed. Wait, could I swing from it? PSI would have to be pretty high to get the webbing to the distances that I'm thinking. 100 or 10,000 PSI? Whoa, that might be too much for my wrist to handle. Half that, 5,000? But what's the source? What if I throw some CO2 into the fluid cartridges? Give it a little extra 100 PSI push, and that's kind of bolded. Every little bit would help. There are these little equations down here, and there's molecule drawings, and this, judging from what this is, and there's a beaker up there, and I think that's web fluid. I hope that's not what I think it is, but judging from like what this page said, this is Lance and Peter's web formula. Like Lance had to have copied the same web formula. By the way, there is a page with like there's a page that involves Lance in this game, but like actually you know there isn't. We just pretend there is. It's about it's Lance's private journal and like what he's been doing as rogue and everything. But I know Lance doesn't exist yet, and Lance doesn't exist yet, and he has no page in here. But please just imagine that there's a page in here. And like I said, Lance is not as smart as Peter, so he had to have like stolen his journal at some point. But this looks like it took like hours to make, so he had to have just taken the journal, like just taken it. And then this one, as you can see, is from Google, and this is for Cross Technological Enterprises. The Cross guy, what's the Nathan Cross? No, that's Nathan Cross. That's the guy from Need for Speed. Darren, that's his name, Darren Cross, I think. Yeah, Darren Cross. Will show Stark that he's not the only one who can have a high-tech prototype. It looks like it says prototype, owned by a privatized company. Once we are able to successfully recreate the Pym particle, this new suit will be able to be the new benchmark in experimented infantry technology. The enhanced strength and speed of the Pym particle exhibited in the past surpasses any biological enhancements. And weaponizing the suit will add Kevlar for combat, replace the antiquated Wasp-like wings with a state-of-the-art propulsion system, and add high-powered laser emitters. The best part is we can sell it to the highest bidder. Shield, Hydra, 10 rings, the Avengers, it doesn't matter, as long as we profit. So you can kind of tell that just from the vibe this whole thing is off. Darren Cross just didn't really care about anyone else but himself. But we can see that in the Ant-Man movie. There's and then like matter of fact, he doesn't even sell to anyone. He uses the thing himself. It's what's this, Wasp? No, not Wasp. Yellow Jacket. Yeah, that's what it was called. The Yellow Jacket suit. And then we already saw how Ant-Man took that out real quickly. And plus, they already have their own Pym particle powered hero anyway. The Avengers do. And why would Shield want it? Like, Shield has no use for it. Now, 10 rings, I'm surprised 10 rings still exist because I swear Tony Stark destroyed them. But given the fact that the title of Shang-Chi is called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings, you might see Shang-Chi just fighting them. Or unless he's talking about they're talking about another 10 rings, which I doubt it. And Hydra, what would Hydra need it for? Like, I swear Hydra got destroyed in like Civil War because like pretty much the head of Hydra was arrested. I think it was not Arnim Zola. What's his name? Zemo. Yeah, Helmut. Wasn't he arrested at the end of Civil War? I'm pretty sure because like Black Panther came and got him or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. So these are just the research request follow up ticket active archivist vote or note. Per your additional request, these are the files we were able to find in regards to Hank Pym and his quantum research. This has exhausted the extent of the archives. We apologize if what you seek is not within this pool. Then you have this kind of diagram down here, and I feel like I've seen that structure before. Okay, so this is the Shuri Kamoyo audio file, I guess. So this is let's just start it. Transcription of the audio. How should I begin this? All right, I'm creating this new initiative because there is potential for great advancements. Change opens opportunity, an opportunity for improvement. Best willing, we'll be able to complete this research before it's too late. That is ominous, Shuri, goodness. But the change and opportunity, but it's true. And a good scientist knows there is always room to learn and improve. It did, like what Shuri said did kind of make her sound like a villain in a way, but I guess that's just Shuri for you. Wakanda is and always has been strong. For generations we have thrived, but what has worked for us in the past can always be improved on. What has worked for life outside Wakanda must certainly be improved on. We as Wakandans have a responsibility to them. Even if there are like helpless fawns or hapless fawns in the forest, lots of the forest, yet still, your science can be inspiring. Stark, Banner, and many others have all made some fascinating advancements and innovations. Just like Wakanda can lead the world to peace and prosperity. We can bring our planet to the front of technology and innovation, and together we are capable of greater things. I know he didn't really say that at the end. I just didn't want to pause, but what he said about Tony and Banner, that's definitely true, because Tony should have created two, like he created like Iron Man and then created War Machine. Those are the two most like advanced things this planet could see if it happened in real life. And I'm not trying to get all political and everything, but they could definitely make something like, the government could definitely make something like this. Like maybe they have and we just don't know, or then another thing is that we are on the precipice or recipe of a revolution larger than the jump from analog to digital. For the sake of the greater good, we must explore everything. Which technologies and advancements that have come from our past and our present can inform our future. What tools do we have? What weapons are available? What defense systems can we achieve? Why are they still driving automobiles with rubber tires? We will need to commission the Advanced Sciences and Technologies group to scour the archives and pull together the data we have collected. The reports from our war dogs throughout history, as Baba often said, the highest bird sees all. But first, food. Mark follow-up action items from dictation and reminder to put in research and archival requests at 7 a.m. tomorrow. So that whole why are they still driving cars with rubber tires? That just reminds me of Howard Stark and how he was gonna come out with the flying car and then, died. It's like how Tony, died. So, this has got to be before Endgame, this has to be. Although we see here, it has to be before Endgame, because it's just pretty much things that we don't know about that happened in the MCU. Left some questions, but no, we can find out about, hopefully. This is from Google again, and this is, like I said in the last video, the War Machine 2.0 refurb detail. Now, let me stop here for a second. I know it may seem like my channel has switched completely over to Marvel in a way, but believe me, if it did, I would make a whole new channel for that. So just expect a video game video, or expect a gaming video in maybe a few days or so. Maybe even a day, I don't know. But just know that I'm still gonna do gaming stuff, like I always have. War Machine 2.0 refurb detail. This suit has passed through too many hands. Time to strip it down for an upgrade. Some ideas some ideas for things to have. Now, I don't know what he meant by this suit has been passed by too many hands. He can't mean the Mark 1 War Machine, because that was the Mark 2, and the Mark 2, or Tony got the Mark 2 back between Iron Man 3 and Iron Man 2. And that one, like, Rhodey took it, and then he took it to the military base. They started messing around with it, and then they gave it over to Hammer Industries, and then they started messing around with it. Then Tony got it back, and then he made Rhodey his own version of the War Machine too. And then that's the one we saw in Iron Man 3, I'm pretty sure, and Age of Ultron, because the suits just look too similar. And of course, that one was kind of passed around through like the government and everything, and then got back to Tony, and he took the paint job off of it. And that's I guess that's what he means, but I'm not entirely sure. You can see like this diagram of War Machine, kind of. Right wrist mounted sonic disabler. You know those LRADs we made for Ross? The Army loves those things. Plus, doesn't matter if you're Hulk or Maximoff. That punch is a painful punch. It's good for disarming a particularly tense situation without resorting to violence. Let's miniaturize it and throw it on the War Machine gauntlet. Yeah, it's good to do that if you don't have a giant Ant-Man dude or giant man behind you trying to distract you from anything. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know. Stun baton. Nothing screams non-lethal like a big stick. With the pull of a trigger, this feature extends to an attack position, revealing 4 power hit points. Electroshock is delivered using precision power, which we can charge with a hot swap dog located behind the right shoulder. Swung like a baseball bat, it can deliver quite the punch. So, I don't get how this uniform or this suit is in Marvel Future Fight, yet we do not use the stun baton, even though it would really be cool to use. And I'm pretty sure we see the stun baton on the suit. That can't be a gun, because there's no shoulder gun on the Civil War War Machine suit for some reason. So, neither on the Infinity War Machine. It doesn't come back until Endgame War Machine. And then you should have the freaking Cosmic Patriot with rocket torpedoes and everything. But yeah, that's what War Machine does pretty much. And you have like his face down here. And Avengers HQ. Oh, Berlin, Germany. This is when Rhodey got paralyzed. The War Machine suit suffered a catastrophic failure following a skirmish with those that opposed the Sokovia Accords. I always mess that up for some reason. An inadvertent collision with a beam from Vision's Mind Stone, which was intended to disable Sam Wilson's Echo 7 flight pack, sliced through the War Machine arc reactor, cutting all flight system power. The armor fell from the sky, and Colonel Rhodes was unable to regain control. All backup systems did not activate, hitting speeds of about 9 GS. Rhodes passed out before surface impact. A medical evaluation is underway for Rhodes, but laceration of his spinal cord from the fall is possible, and injuries will be severe. So, that's just pretty much like them talking about like when War Machine was in the hospital in that one scene right before Tony went to go get Cap and Bucky. And I think I read somewhere like a year ago or so that they were actually supposed to kill War Machine off in that scene, but they just didn't. And I myself, like when I saw Civil War, I was scared War Machine was going to die. I didn't want War Machine to die. And then Tony Stark's personal log. Rhodey took a pretty mean hit, like extreme spinal column damage. I mean, that's the bad news. Good news, with a little motorized assistance and a whole lot of physical therapy, I think we can get him back on his feet again. The basic exoskeleton mechanics of the Iron Man suit should be suitable for leg braces. Exoskeletons, Interesting. I bet I could make the braces that weigh a little under 5 pounds for him. Motor function communication from the brain to sensors in the mechanized legs shouldn't be too difficult, using micro-repeater injections similar to those in my arms. Shock absorption, I'm sorry, and lateral movement may be a little difficult, but once we get some forward momentum, both literally and figuratively, we can work that out. And then, of course, when he's in the War Machine suit, nothing should be a problem, as we can fully mechanize his movement where his body fails him. I know he's pretty down right now, but This isn't anything we can't handle. And as we can see, it did actually work, because if you guys remember in Infinity War, right before Thor showed up, I think either Black Dwarf or it was Black Dwarf. He threw that thing at War Machine while he was like shooting at the Outriders, and then it hit War Machine. War Machine fell down to the ground, but he was okay. So, unlike Civil War Machine from 2 years before, who fell and got his legs broke. But this is just like Tony Stark's personal log, and I thought he would be angrier, kind of. And oh, by the way, when I told you guys like a while ago how about Lence's journal, like one of my older Metal Spider videos from like earlier this year, I think. When I told you guys about that, and I said that Lance had like a personal journal, and like he talked about how he was like really, really mad at Hawkeye after Natasha died. That's also going to be here. So, I know it won't, but just pretend that just you know the drill. You know the drill, guys. And at the bottom you can see human enhancement, and then of course this is also from Google. And then it's Wakanda Royal Archives Directive: gather all intelligence reports and documentations, acquired files, news articles, and any other archival materials related to human advancement for review. Shuri, head of science at the Technology Department. Materials pulled from the following: Wakanda historic file archives, public records and media outlets, War Dog Files Hydra, War Dog Files Stark Industries, War Dog SSR Shield highest clearance, War Dog Files Hammer Industries, War Dog Files AIM or AIM, War Dog Files CIA. I always forget that AIM exists in the MCU because we never really see them do anything yet. But they could definitely set up like another Avengers movie with like maybe like a few, like, I don't know if you guys remember, but remember how they had like that new Avengers thing at the end of Age of Ultron? They could probably do that and like have kind of have just War Machine and Metal Spider, Spider-Man, and everybody else like just kind of fighting AIM, and maybe even fighting MODOK at the end. It would be really cool to see MODOK in the MCU, and since we've already saw him in the Avengers game, they could just kind of take from that design if Square Enix lets them. Please note that we are unable to provide physical copies of the records that have been classified by intelligence or by order of the king himself. Those records are only available through your digital interface. So I don't know what they're talking about here. We have like this cool picture of the Avengers over here. This is